This is Patrick Stewart, and I always watch Pop Talk with PACIFIC414. Make it so.
Pop Talk is where it's at, baby. Pop Talk is where it's at, baby. Pop Talk is where it's at.
Warning: due to adult language and humor, the following content may not be suitable for any viewers under the age of 18.
Oh my God!
Viewer
Who
discretion
the
is strongly
hell
advised.
cares?
The views and opinions expressed during the following live stream or video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you. Good evening and welcome, one and all, to a Sunday edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk in prime time. Along with Paranorman Tag, I am your host, Mike. Unfortunately, Cash Money 007 is not here tonight. He is still under the weather, or is he, just saying he's not feeling well and just acting like he's better than us, Baird?
I think that's the case. I mean, he doesn't sound like Barry White no more. I mean, remember when it's like, this is Cash, but I'm not feeling really, really good here. And them people, I tell you, I was on Twitter, and I wasn't feeling good, but I still was on Twitter, and those people just don't understand.
Yes, or is he standing this up for somebody else? I don't know if he's standing this up for somebody else, but if he is, I got this to say to Mr. Cash Money 007.
Extinction to all traitors!
Yeah, well, maybe Janet from their planet invited him over to her.
Well, that's understandable. She's a very nice lady.
Yeah, he is, and I think he's rather taken by her. Never knows, he starts getting, his voice starts getting a little deeper when he's talking.
True. But tonight, I am going to be talking with Baron about the following topics. We, of course, are going to talk about the weekend box office.
Yay.
We are also going to talk about the Dune series. Dune: The Sisterhood undergoes big-time creative changes following source material departure. Another story we are going to talk about for tonight is the Penguin series that's going to begin filming soon.
And this is the one that's part of the new DCU under Gunn?
Yes.
Okay.
And I also have a story about Square Enix new president, representative director. And of course, I mean, this is a foregone conclusion here that HBO Max is going to develop a series based on Hogwarts. But first and foremost, the reason why we are having the Sunday edition of Pop Talk this late in the evening, as opposed to when we normally have it, is because I was out with a friend today, and my friend invited me to come with them to the movies, and we saw Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. Now, to make everything perfectly clear, I did not pay for my ticket admission. My friend did. The way we did it is she paid for the ticket, I paid for the snacks. So we split it that way. And I went in there with very, very low expectations. As a matter of fact, this is the first MCU movie I have seen since Endgame.
Wow.
In the theaters. And I gotta say, I know my friend felt bad about paying for it, especially after what she said about the movie when we left, but I was thinking, I'm glad I didn't pay because this movie isn't worth paying $10 for. The movie is a mess, folks. It's an absolute mess. I mean, you look at this movie and the way it starts off, and yes, there are going to be some spoilers, but I don't know how many of you actually care for the spoilers about this movie. I mean, here's how I look at it. If you wanted to see this movie, you would have seen it by now.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Yes, for some people, it is. Who cares about spoilers? Rip off the band aid, Mike. Well, I'm going to give you some spoilers. This whole movie's premise all starts off because Cassie, Scott's daughter, creates this device that allows her to access the quantum realm. Well, of course, the device malfunctions, and of course, you have Hank, you have Janet, and you.
You had Hank Hill there with propane and propane accessories.
No, no, Baron. My God, that boy ain't right. You did not have Hank Hill, but you had Hank Pym, you had Janet, you had Hope there. She was there too. And it all starts when Cassie shows them this device. They find out what this device can do. Janet, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, starts freaking out, saying, "Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off." Too late. The device goes haywire. It does the typical. This is how we're gonna drive you into the main plot.
Mhm.
They get down to the quantum realm. You meet two different factions. And of course, Janet is known because of spending 30 years in the quantum realm. You have a cameo appearance by Bill Murray as a character. I can't even remember his name right now.
It's the
But
Fat Jack.
yeah, it's just Bill Murray delivering some lines as Bill Murray.
Mhm.
And the whole thing leads up to Cassie and Scott getting captured by Kane the Conqueror, and Scott ends up having to make a deal with Kane. And you have that side of the story, and of course, you have Hank and Hope and Janet on the other side of the story. And Janet gives Hank and Hope the whole backstory of what happened, how she met Kane the Conqueror, how she helped him repair a device for his ship. Well, it was repaired, and what this device can do is send you to multiple different timelines where you can see multiple different outcomes, different worlds, and it's a whole bunch of gobbledygook. So
So it's Michelle Pfeiffer. So when this all happens, she turns into Catwoman. We have
I wish. I
we
wish.
we had the famed DC Marvel crossover we've been wanting, but never getting.
I wish. And honestly, you mentioned Michelle Pfeiffer. Paul Rudd was basically making a guest appearance in a movie he's supposed to be one of the leads for because
Wow.
it mainly did focus on Janet.
Well,
And
that's typical Disney. They have a headlining show or movie, and the headliner they push to the back for somebody else.
yeah, they did the same thing for Hawkeye too and several others. But long story short, because I'm not gonna go very long on this. Long story short, Hank and Janet and Hope find Scott in the quantum world. They end up finding Cassie in the quantum world, and they eventually are able to defeat Kane and also destroy the device. Of course, there's one final fight between Kane the Conqueror and Scott, which, thanks to the help of Hope, Scott is able to win and they get back to the quantum realm. But of course, it does tease a sequel or the next big Avengers tentpole movie where you see multiple Kanes from multiple different universes saying, we're basically going to go into this world and we're going to attack it. Because one of the things that Kane the Conqueror says to Scott, don't destroy me. You destroy me, your world's doomed. So, yeah, the CGI in this movie was just awful, especially when you see Mordok. I'm looking at it going, that's the best they can do. No, really, it's awful. It's like if I were to do CGI Baron. That's how bad it is.
I don't know. I think they'd probably do better.
I
I
don't
would
know,
think.
but this movie it tries to give you some laughs, and I didn't chuckle. You know what I was focusing on at one point? I was
Billy Buds
focusing on
wins.
my nachos.
Well, well, oh, come on. That's not fair. They're nachos. Nacho man. I just want to be a nacho man.
And I was going, these are actually pretty tasty this time.
Yeah. Right amount of Velveeta. Oh, plastic.
Yes, get that plastic cheese. But this movie, I'm sorry. It actually, I'm not sorry for saying this. It just goes to show that Kevin Feige and everyone else at Marvel and Disney should have stopped after Endgame, given it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. 10 years would have been good. Take a nice long break, reset the batteries, reset the creative juices, and then start everything up again.
Maybe. So what you're saying is,
It stinks.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, giving it a 4.5 out of 10 stars. That's
wow.
even being generous, I think.
That's just it. I was kind of impressed. You went 4.5. It's like, wow, that high?
Well, I give part of that to Michelle Pfeiffer. She's still easy
Yeah.
on the eyes, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. I mean, Melf. Yeah. Cougar. I don't know. I don't know if she's got any kids, so I don't know if she's technically a Melf or a Cougar.
I don't know, but
Oh, either way.
that's why I give it a 4.5.
Either way, yeah. Come to Beavis. Come to Beavis.
And all right, I'll admit it. I loved her as Catwoman in Batman Returns. I can't help it.
I knew someone who said she figured out she was a lesbian because she saw Batman Returns and saw Michelle Pfeiffer in the cat suit. Right at that point, I knew I was a lesbian.
But yeah, this movie, if you want to spend your money to go see it, honestly, that's not even a choice, Phil. I would say neither. I would honestly say neither. And I know what somebody's going to say. Geez, Mike, you've been so negative with your reviews lately, with this movie and then with The Last of Us. It's because it's not any good. I'm not
Right.
going to sit there and cheer something on that's not very good. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
You
this
guys,
is what
you guys know that by now. You know by my reviews, if I like something, I'll praise it. If I don't
Yeah.
like something, I'll tell you I don't like it. The story was it was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. Hey, Cassie's a genius, but she's also a hoodlum like her father, who ends up in juvie and ends up in prison. And they blame the fact that there was the blip. Well, Scott was trapped in the quantum realm for those 5 years. He couldn't help it.
the blip. So if someone's saying, Mike, say some good things about movies, you have to say this.
How about no?
I'm going to be honest. I take the same approach I do when I give a recap for the Cubs. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you, okay, this game was great. They did some great things in this inning. Well, I'm also going to do the same thing with a television show or movie. Okay, I liked what they did in this scene. I liked how they developed this character. What I didn't
Mhm.
like was how they basically forced one character over another. And as much as I did like Michelle Pfeiffer, it did seem like they were focused more on her than they
Mhm.
were on Paul Rudd, like I said earlier.
Right. Who's supposed to be what the movie was named after? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that character is this is that character's movie. It's not another person's movie.
No, it's not. And I just, I really strongly feel that this movie is the perfect example of the comic book movie burnout that
Yeah.
I've been talking about before, others have been talking about before, because you would go into a Marvel movie, prior to Endgame, prior to Infinity War, and you would be excited about what's going to happen. You
Mm-hmm.
would be watching the movie in the theaters. You would be on the edge of your seat because of
Mm-hmm.
the action. And you'd be concerned about what's going on because of what the characters telling the audience.
Mm-hmm.
But in this movie, it's like, I don't care. I don't care. Oh, Murdoch. Oh God, what the? Oh God, that's terrible. And not what happened to the character. You're looking at the CGI, going,
Yeah, that's just it. The reliance on CGI and then not
"The-
even being good at it. I mean, you can be really good
mhm,
at CGI. You can do really good. Uh, they just phone it in. And I just want to say, everybody, the New Zealand women's team has won the championship for Vancouver's sevens competition. Sorry, I'm watching it here, and I've been trying hard not to hoot and holler.
that's fine." And another thing that bugs me about a lot of comic book movies and modern movies in general that rely on it is the use of green screen.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to build a practical set and making it look alien, and we know good set designers can do that. They can make it look alien, and then they can construct the set,
Hmm.
and you actually believe you're in an alien world because of how well they constructed the set and
Hmm.
also the lighting. Here,
And this cinematography too. I mean, how you shoot those scenes too. It's like, okay, we're not going to shoot them a regular way. We're going to do it this way, and it's going to have even more effect.
here in Quantum Mania, and every time I say Quantum Mania, all I can hear in my head is Vince McMahon saying, "Welcome to WrestleMania. Welcome to Quantum Mania."
What
That's
the
all I
hell
can
was
hear.
that?
That's all I can hear when I hear that title. But this movie didn't need to be made. Just like a lot of Phase 4 and Phase 5 didn't need to be made. Now, like I said, I haven't seen a Marvel movie in the theater since Endgame. But when I had a Disney Plus subscription, I did watch Black Widow, and oh gosh, that movie was terrible. And I skipped Shang-Chi, and I skipped several others. I had no interest in seeing
You
the other
did.
ones that came out.
You didn't want to see the famed rabbit chickens.
No, I didn't want to see the famed rabbit chickens. I heard enough about them by watching other channels, and
Mhm. Well, one of the big guys out there, he's a professional rabbit chicken farmer. That's Mexican Iron Man.
I thought he was a tortilla farmer.
Oh, that too. But he's also got a rabbit chicken farm too.
Yeah,
He has rabbit
but
chicken productions.
this movie was a movie where I even told my sister because she asked me how it was.
Brave
I
woman.
said, this isn't a movie I would have paid for, and I feel sorry now that my friend paid for it. It's like, there's no way to get your money back.
Well, look at it this way. She knew what your opinion about Marvel films were. I'm sure you told her why Marvel films are. She
Mhm.
had to, it's like we have to get to our lowest before we're able to rise up again. Congratulations, you brought her down to her lowest. She can now rise up. She can rise up, and now she understands fully.
Yep,
But you
she
have to
does.
experience that pain. You gotta have that pain out there. If you don't have that pain, you can't make it.
And I was telling myself, don't don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. Don't say anything. Let her say her thoughts first before you even say a single word. And then she asked me, she's all, so what do you think of it? I said, you do realize because of how long you've known me, when you ask me a question, I'm going to give you the answer. And it's going to be something you want to hear or something you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
She says, I want to hear it. Because I could tell on her face when she was asking me that she didn't enjoy it. I said, that movie had problems. And the biggest problem, like I've said, is the fact that Marvel and Victoria Alonso, Kevin Feige, and everybody there at Marvel and Disney said, no, we got to keep this Marvel train going. No. You need to stop it after Endgame.
And people ask, why did you go see this film? And this is what Mike gotta say.
I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain.
There you go.
Why did I go? Because my friend sent me a message the other day saying, we hadn't seen each other in a while. You want to hang out? I want to go see Ant-Man and Wasp. I'll pay for your ticket if you agree to pay for snacks. I'm thinking, okay, that's a fair trade.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it comes down to it, Cash and I, we're laughing our butts off quite a bit about that. He's going to see Ant-Man. He's see Ant-Man.
But, I was happy to hang out with her and some other friends afterwards. But as far as the movie, it's a 4.5 out of 10. Or if it's my regular scale of best of 5, I would say it's a 2 out of 5.
Because of Michelle's Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Cougar.
Hey, what can I say?
I want to be mauled by that. Yeah, I want to be mauled by that cougar. I tell you what.
I know what I like in movies. I know what I like in TV shows. I like watching movies and TV shows that actually give me a reason to care about the characters and the plot that they're in.
Not Rosie O'Donnell in the BDSM uniform and what was that with Dan Aykroyd? Was that not East of Eden? But
oh gosh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
no, Aaron, no, God, God, no, man. No, I've got that image in my head. Thanks a lot, man.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Let's see what Black Dragon has to say.
I don't know
so this movie is a train wreck, just like the 2 in Ohio.
2? Wow.
That's definitely one way to put it. It's a train wreck. It's a dumpster fire.
How many Chernobyls would you rate this film?
I would say it's 10 Chernobyls.
Is it too
if
soon?
Not more.
Too soon? I'm glad I'm not planning on seeing it. Like I said, the only MCU film I have any interest in seeing is Guardians.
Yeah, and that was the only trailer that when I saw it, I'm looking forward to this. Now, my friend did get excited when she saw the Flash trailer, mainly because of Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, it's a good trailer. It really is.
Yeah. And she asked me, would you want to meet me at the theater when that comes out to see it? I said, not really, because I don't particularly care for Ezra Miller.
No. And that's gonna be the hard thing for that film. It's gonna be Ezra. It really is. I mean, but this film was supposed to have been released, 2021, 2020? I mean, this thing's been floating around in post-production hell for however long. And then in the time period, Ezra Miller turns into an absolute prick. Are we past the first 5 minutes? Okay, good. And I can say prick.
I think we're well beyond the time limit that YouTube has before you can start laying down F-bombs and stuff like that. But honestly, folks, this is just my opinion. Don't waste your money on this. Don't waste your money on Quantum Mania.
Yeah. Sucker a friend to pay for you.
Well, I
They,
wouldn't say I suckered her. I just told her, okay, I'll go, and she said I'll pay for the tickets, and I said all right, then I'll pay for the snacks because sometimes when I've gone with friends, one of us will pay for both the tickets and the snacks,
mm-hmm.
or we'll do a thing where somebody will pay for the tickets, or a couple people will pay for the tickets, and a couple people will pay for the snacks. Try to balance it out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does end up costing more sometimes, but that's how we did it. But we are looking forward to seeing Guardians Volume 3.
Yeah,
That's really the only MCU movie I'm looking forward to watching right now.
yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and conclude that portion of tonight's broadcast by just saying don't waste your money. But if you do want to see it, that's on you.
Very interesting, but stupid.
And you're not alone, Chet. There are many people who have been done with the MCU.
Yeah.
Once Endgame officially ended, that was it for a lot of people.
Well, it's kind of funny. They kind of seems like they went into the DC EU, before the gun universe, where it was discombobulated. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And, are we going to follow through with Schneider? Are we going to do this? It almost seems like they fell apart after Endgame and started into that trap, while Marvel's DC's trying to get itself out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
and I don't know, from what I've seen from various clips of the movies that were released in Phase 4, what I've heard, it doesn't really, at least in my view, appear that Marvel even had a roadmap as far as what show's going to lead to what movie's going to lead to the next show or movie.
mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like they had a clear, concrete plan.
Well, their big concrete plan was to turn into the MCU. Anything a man can do, we can do better. And that was their plan. I mean, let's face it, right down to the bare knuckles of it, that is the plan.
Yeah.
And She-Hulk was a perfect example of that attitude. Which, by the way, was canceled.
Yeah, and speaking of She-Hulk, they had an actress in there playing one of the characters. I can't even remember the character's name, but this actress is a bodybuilder, and I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, why didn't they cast her as She-Hulk when Jennifer Walters goes into She-Hulk? Mm-hmm. She would have been perfect.
Yeah.
That's where my mind went. It's like, there's your She-Hulk right there. You don't have to worry about doing any CGI. All you have to do is put on some green body paint and bam.
Yeah, a little oregano out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Instead, they basically took old models of Shrek and tried to make a form to it and put it out there.
Well, anytime a TV show or movie relies on time travel, you got to question it. Unless it's a trilogy like Back to the Future, where time travel is the main part of all three movies.
Right. And yeah, exactly. I mean, we have Doctor Who, expect time travel. Back to the Future is time travel. I always thought they were getting carried away with the time travel in Star Trek. It's like, wait a moment, when did the Federation turn into Time Lords? And it's like, it was fine having some time travel stuff, especially with the old series, and of course Star Trek 4. But then we have First Contact. We have time travel. Technically, even time travel in Nemesis. I mean, Generations because of the Nexus. So it's like,
and First Contact. Let's not forget First
yeah.
Contact. Going
Mhm.
back and saving Zephyr Cochrane and the first warp ship.
Right, exactly. And of course, Voyager had their time travel. Let's go back to San Francisco, even though we're in the Gamma Quadrant or Delta Quadrant, whatever quadrant. Even DS9 had a few of their time travel stories. It's like some of it was actually necessary, like the Little Green Men episode. Um, but after a while, yeah, you're right. It becomes a tired trope with time travel, unless, like you said, it has to do with time travel. That's the one thing I liked about Star Wars: no time travel. And now it sounds like they're going to dabble into that with the
World Between Worlds.
yeah, exactly.
That was introduced in Star Wars Rebels. It's like,
Right,
does every science fiction show need to have time travel? I'm going to
right,
give you my quick answer. No.
right. I agree.
Just because it's science fiction doesn't mean it has to involve any sort of time travel.
No, and most of the tropes have been used. So it's like, let's go. Time after time. With not Roddy McDowell, but Malcolm McDowell and David Warner and Mary Steenburgen. That was a great train travel story. Well thought out, well executed. But yeah, it's just really tiring. I want to watch something science fiction that doesn't have time travel.
Yeah. I mean, you can understand why it was used in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh yeah, again, that was based on time travel.
Yeah. But it also just goes to show how many times Hollywood has said, okay, let's go to the time travel vault and see what kind of story we can come up with. And it ends up looking and sounding a lot like stories you've heard before because a lot of the elements are exactly the same.
Right. And even then, they go and focus on basically one aspect of time travel. I mean, uh, they don't go with the short story, "The Men Who Killed Muhammad," where in that you could go back and kill George Washington, but it would have no effect. Basically, saying that somebody else will step in and fill that void spot, and will not affect it will not affect the time stream at all. You have that type of science fiction story, or you have the butterfly effect one, where one little thing you change in the past it screws up. But
if you've ever seen the Butterfly Effect, that's actually a pretty good movie.
Oh yeah, it is.
But looking at the weekend box office, it wasn't a good weekend.
No, that's horrible numbers.
No. Creed came in with 58.7 million. I really would have thought the third Creed movie would have done better than that.
Yeah.
Of course, Ant-Man and Wasp made 12.5 million. Then you have Cocaine Bear, which made 11 million, followed by Demon Slayer, and that made 10.1 million. And then you had Jesus Revolution, which actually made 8.7 million. And I don't think that movie's budget was very big. So
no, not at all.
Let's see. It has made 30 million. So
yeah,
I don't think that's too bad, especially for
what was that 15 million opening? Did they have on that one?
Let me go back to it real quick.
Yeah, please. I'm just kind of curious because that's Creed. Hi, Creed.
Blame the guy.
I'll blame you in the heartbeat. Yeah. So let's see. The opening was 15 million.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't have their budget, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. But I mean, where it's at 30 million, and that looks like everything. That's domestic and foreign. It looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have international numbers here, so
yeah, it's worldwide. It's, I'm sure they have made their cash back on that.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm calling it up here on my handy dandy walkie-talkie device.
And Cocaine Bear, I mean, just here domestically, it's made 41 million. Internationally, it's made 10 million, and it has 52 million in the bank.
Yeah, it made its money back on there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And we do have a guest for tonight. Let me line up.
You didn't tell me that he was coming on here.
It was a surprise.
Oh, jeez.
And you know what? I'm actually going to play a different clip because, you know, sometimes people have a lack of faith.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
You gotta have faith. Oh, I got a special message for you, Paul.
Yes.
And here it is.
Master Paul can fluff my pillows Navy style any day.
Who is that talking now?
I don't know. That's the same one that has the fixation over cash money.
Cash money can put his change in my piggy bank any day.
Why does that sound like Kathleen Kennedy?
I don't know.
But could you reintroduce me, Mike, with the army training clip?
Wait a minute here. He comes on the Pop Talk and says, I want to be introduced with a different clip.
Listen to this.
I just wanted to see the clip is all.
I am better than you, Pacific. I am best of all of the Star Wars guys, and I demand a different clip. So play it for me, Pacific boy.
Oh, by the way, 15 million budget for Jesus Revolution.
That's not bad. That's not bad. It's already made 30 million.
Yeah, it's still in the theater, so let's see how far it goes. See how I'm trying to distract them off of using the army training.
I mean, you know what? This is the one I'm going to play for you, Paul.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay, I know what? I feel generous.
Lighten up, Francis.
The wrong Stripes one. That was the wrong Stripes one. I'm sorry.
Where the hell have you been, soldier?
Training, sir! Training, sir!
What kind of training, son?
Army training, sir! Army training, sir!
And that was Bill Murray's performance in Ant-Man Quaalude Mania.
Pretty much. Like I said, it was Bill Murray being Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, you know, I am surprised about the 58 million domestic gross for Creed 3. I really thought it would have made, you know, at least 70 million, if not more.
Yeah, those numbers are kind of surprising, if you ask me. I mean, you know, not joking around. I mean, all across the board, you figure there'd be a little bit more of a movie watching, you know, weekend or such.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because games, a lot of, you know, the NFL is over with now. I mean, yeah, we got preseason baseball, but really, who cares? And, you know, or basketball, you got basketball, which I know draws, but still, for a lot of people, there we go. I mean, the movies.
And ladies and gentlemen, I do want to congratulate Kathy Skywalker on reaching 100 subscribers. Congratulations. If you're not subscribed to Kathy, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, Kathy, what kept you?
Do it now. Come on.
What kept you
from to Kathy? You got to do it now. Come on.
What kept you to gain 100, Kathy? Come on. I mean, you could have worked a little harder than that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man. You just want to watch me fall up steps. That's all.
I thought that's what you did before you got here.
No, I kind of tooted up the steps. I'm kind of gassy lately.
Yes, those are your box office numbers. So
those are
next
horrible. They're horrible.
Yeah. And you know, another reason why I'm kind of surprised about these numbers is you have kids who are currently on spring break.
Yeah.
And you would think one of the things some of them would want to do is go to the movies besides going to the beach and getting drunk or going anywhere getting drunk.
Yeah, they just want to go to movies, get drunk, and get laid in the back row. Whoa, where did that come from?
But a bump.
No.
So the 4 stories I have lined up for tonight, I know I've already mentioned them, but I'm going to mention them one more time. Is a story on Dune: The Sisterhood undergoes big time creative changes following source material departure. Then the other one was about the Penguin series getting to film for HBO Max. Square Enix getting a new president. And a rumor about Hogwarts Legacy TV series. And that will actually be the first story we are going to talk about.
Oh, so we don't get a choice. Okay, I see how it goes.
Really? First, Paul wanting the "Where the hell have you been, soldier?" clip, and now I'm Baron. Yeah, we don't get to choose a clip.
Look under my name. Look under my name. What does it say in the white? I can do it again.
Yes, wow. Mutineer. I mean, yes, I suppose this is continuing from last Sunday's Pop Talk when I went and saw Cocaine Bear, and we had the commandeered edition of Pop Talk. Although I don't know if you guys were still going, I would have popped back in because when I got in the car, I turned it on and I'm going, "You son of a bitch." It was ending right there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
So,
no, you're not.
Quick question for you, Pacific. Since I missed the last Pop Talk, how was Cocaine Bear?
You know, I'm glad I saw it, but it's not a movie I have to go see again.
Okay.
I thought coming to my mind what I could say, but I'm not going to say. I'm going to be faithful once.
Oh, yeah. Wait. What? This is the first.
Well, it has to do with cocaine, the clubs back in the 70s and the 80s. What guys did with women in the bathroom stall with the cocaine, with the ladies. You know.
I see.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Baron, I support your takeover of Pop Talk. Congrats on the purchase. Nobody's purchased anything.
No, it was a full takeover. I didn't have to pay 1 cent. I stole it. This is stolen land. Ha ha ha.
He knew the captain was going away to watch a movie, and he thought, well, the captain's away. The mutineers are going to play.
He was rowing out in his old dinghy. Yeah, he was doing some good dinghy work, too. And he got out there. You know, it's like, okay, away we go. We'll leave him in his dinghy.
You and your dinghy obsession. I swear, man.
What's wrong with a dinghy?
I don't know. You tell me. At least I had some flotation devices.
Well, I hate to say this. I am a flotation device the way I'm shaped. I'm just a big old buoy in the streams of life.
And hello to Whoopa Troopa, who says, I heard they already announced a sequel to Cocaine Bear. It's called Rehab Bear. I did see that meme last night on Twitter.
Whoopa, whoopa.
Wow.
And if you guys missed Wednesday's show, I did have a story where Ripley's, believe it or not, was actually trying to buy the actual Cocaine Bear.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the actual bear, did they get stuffed somewhere?
Yeah, it's taxidermied, and it's in Kentucky.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Oh, I want the bear. That looked great in my place. You know, make sure there's powder around the nose and say, there you go. No, I'm talking about Mike's dinghy, not my dinghy.
So we have this article from Battle in the Comics, which says, rumor, keyword.
Yep.
TV show based on Harry Potter spin-off game Hogwarts Legacy in development at HBO Max. Just to let you all know, I will still be playing Hogwarts Legacy in between playing Mega Man 11 and a few other games. So this says controversy creates cash.
He's not here.
Paul, You seem
I
to
wonder.
recall somebody in wrestling who had a book that says
Yeah,
controversy creates cash.
someone who helped run a very profitable promotion into the ground.
Somebody who was a member of this particular wrestling faction.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
What are you talking about, Lord Crit?
No, it was before Crit's time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Eric Bischoff.
Mm-hmm. Easy E.
Yep.
Well, let's continue with this article. Controversy creates cash, including manufacturer controversy, Hogwarts Legacy, the prequel fantasy game spun out of the Harry Potter books and films gets a cold reception from a segment of critics who now despise creator J.K. Rowling, but it's doing well sales-wise with gamers regardless of the platform. Some of them became Harry Potter fans overnight, eager to catch up on their reading and movie viewing. I don't know if I'd go that far. I will say it is a fun game to play.
Yes, it is.
And I did promise you, Paul, one day I would sit down and watch a Harry Potter movie with you. And
yes.
I haven't forgotten that.
Is this bound in the comics, or who's this?
Yes, this is bound in the comics.
Okay.
And, the thing with bound in the comics, yes, they have articles that will get straight to the point and bring up good points. And then sometimes you'll find articles where the author is just offering their opinion, like a lot of the other websites that are on there. And some of their headlines are clickbait.
Yeah, like for example, with what I covered earlier on my stream about certain inflammatory quotes that Dave Filoni may have made.
Oh.
Yet when you show that video,
yeah,
what Bound in the comics said, as opposed to what was actually said in the video, are two different things.
Yeah.
Yes, which, for those wondering, long story short, no, Dave Filoni was not insinuating that Luke wasn't a Jedi. He was just not exactly clear on what time period within Star Wars he was talking about.
And I do want to say hello to Low Specs Linux Laptop. Welcome.
Penguins Unite.
Mm-hmm.
The article goes on to say Warner Brothers must be paying attention and seeing an opportunity as the trusted and reliable sources of giant freaking robot. Take all with a grain of salt when you're reading, even from Bound into comics, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, but notice that they put that's high sarcasm right there. It's in
I know.
Yeah, I love it. No, I'm just saying I love it.
It says a source for all kinds of exclusives says, a Hogwarts Legacy-based series is in development at HBO Max, and very early development at that. The series is still in the early phases of development, so few details are available, they say. It's presumed, though, that the series will be like the game and take place in the 1800s before either the adventures of Harry Potter or Newt Scamander of the Fantastic Beasts series. It also goes on to say, in the hot-selling open world release, players control a student at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft, which, by the way, there is someone else who's also playing the game. And I'm going to go ahead and play his clip. Even though he's not here, maybe this clip will have him make an appearance.
Anonymous. Anonymous. Anonymous.
I knew he was insensitive to people's fantasies.
No, I think from what I've seen from his first stream, at least, he's actually having fun with the game. And that's what really matters is that you have fun with this game. I mean, Paul, you're playing this game. I know Phil's playing the game.
I play the game. I just don't have the money for it. I'm just poor.
Yeah.
Poor.
Yeah, I I admittedly have put a pause on playing this game though until I can get my hands on a console, because even in spite of putting a new CPU in my computer just does not like playing this game. So
Wow.
yeah,
Dang.
I'm kind of up the creek.
Without a paddle.
Yep.
And let's see, the article was talking about how it's taking place before the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts series. It goes on to say about how Hogwarts Legacy is an open world. And let's see what else it says. Players control a student at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry who has an exceptional, however, untapped mastery of ancient magic.
Ooh.
Goes on to say that the game was released for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on February 10th. It sold a very strong 12 million units to rake in an impressive 850 million globally. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yep.
I know I'm underselling it there, but that's pretty good. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't care that this character is supposed to be a trans character. It doesn't bother me because the character's not in it all that much.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that bothered me is just the pandering. It's straight out pandering. And that's the only thing that comes around.
Yeah, it is.
It's like there was really, honestly, a purpose for the character to be that way. But you wouldn't have that back in that time. Yeah.
Nope.
That is true. Although, if I may play devil's advocate for a second,
please.
The aspect of how this could happen within a magical world does make sense. I'm sure there is some form of spell that could make this person into what they came into. Although I do agree with you, Baron. Would they even want to in the 1800s?
Well, yeah, I mean, he had all sorts of stuff even back in that time, but I'm sure the spell Wieneris bigamus was in existence. So
true. And to answer your question, low spec, I don't know what QPU is, but for my CPU, I just put in an AMD Ryzen 5 5600X.
Wow. Okay.
And I want to say hello to Angry Canadian.
Ever notice the Canadians are pretty angry people? We're told how nice and peaceful they are, but there's a lot of anger up in Canada.
Well, can you blame them? They have Fat Steven.
Yeah, well.
But anyways, this game just goes on to talk more about, well, the article goes on to talk more about the game, of course, but this is in very early development, so let's wait until we have a little bit more meat on the bones before we can speculate when the series is going to take place and how the series is going to be done and how closely or how far away from the source material it might actually go.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt if it was actually floating in the back of their head, but they might have been a little nervous because of all the quote-unquote controversy out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think when they saw that the controversy only helped them than hurt them, I think it's like the orcs. The meat's back on the menu, boys. Now then,
wow! I would expect this from Phil McCracken.
Oh my goodness,
not Whoopa Droopa.
Wow.
I mean, if you ever go back to the 4th of July weekend edition of Pop Talk, you'll hear Phil's views on the British people.
I know.
But Whoopa Troopa, man, dude.
Wow,
man, wow. I blame Phil.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now this is just all rumor and speculation, and
I don't doubt that this game has sparked an interest in the movies and the books with a segment. Not maybe that big a one, but we have to remember the books and the movies. They're 20 years old.
Yeah. And thank you, Angry Canadian. I'm glad that you enjoyed those. And side note, by the way, in case you guys missed my stream earlier, the poll that's been up on my community page where we decided either A, continue in the EU with the New Republic stuff, or B, go back and look at some Old Republic stuff. That poll came out to a dead tie. So I'm breaking that tie by saying we're going to continue with the New Republic stuff.
Oh.
Phil, I know you're watching. You told me what the next story is. If you can send me a quick reminder in DMs what exactly that story is, I'll get looking into that as quickly as I can.
Is he looking chronologically or release-wise? Because chronologically it would be Dark Empire, but if you wanted to keep it to novels, it'd be the Force Academy, the Jedi Academy series.
Chronologically is what I want to go for. So
okay, then it'll be Dark Empire.
Dark Empire. And that's the one that Phil told me about, where this one other high-ranking Imperial officer found basically a miniature Death Star or something.
No, that would be the Jedi Academy trilogy.
Oh,
by Kevin J. Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah, the Death Star prototype.
Okay, so how much did Paul say he will pay you? And where are you getting this from, Phil? I didn't arrange anything with Angry Canadian.
It's Phil, the world's most famous troll.
He's just salty because I have only a certain amount of honey that I'm gonna give you guys, and Phil didn't make it this batch.
Oh.
You'll have to get with me on that one, low spec, so I can figure out how to play it at 720.
Okay, that's what this honey thing that hashtag these invented out there is.
Yes.
Okay, now I understand.
Yes.
All right.
Which side note, Baron, at some point, if you can DM me your address so I can get that to you.
Oh, you want me to DM you so I can get Phil's honey? No problem. More than happy to.
Yes, absolutely.
In your face, Phil McCracken.
All right, gentlemen. Now, for this segment, I am going to let you choose one of the 3 remaining articles.
Oh, okay. Let a guest.
No, let me let them know what the articles are first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just saying we should let our guest do that one next.
We could talk about Dune, the Sisterhood undergoes big-time creative changes following source material departure.
Eric thinks he's the star of the show.
We could talk about the Penguin getting ready to start filming. Or we can talk about Square Enix getting a new president, representative, director.
Let's talk about the Square Enix one.
All right. I see. I see why you want to hear me butcher some more Japanese names. So both you and Phil McCracken could start laughing and cackling.
You're forgetting me.
Well, you're pretty much a foregone conclusion, Baron.
Oh, well, I kind of was feeling a little hurt there.
I'll
the bat.
I'll help you out with this one, Mike. It's Takashi Kiryu.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. I can't believe you develop a reputation where you struggle with Japanese names and everybody goes, here, let me put on the training wheels for you, Mike.
Well, at least you're not Brandon, where you have a channel that's based on Japanese entertainment that has a problem saying those things.
Yep.
Admiral, there'd be Wiz here.
Yes. Whoa, wait a moment. Where did this guy come from? I thought he was swimming out in the Pacific for a while.
He says, what he thought. Yeah. Shame.
I purposely tried to avoid any Dungeons and Dragons articles for this week for obvious reasons.
Yeah, well, that's Lord Crit's way to shake up the nest.
All right, so this article from Anime News Network, and yes, I did put the link to the article into the chat. I just wanted to double check. It says Square Enix announced on Friday that Takashi Kiru. Okay, yeah, I know. Mike, stop while you're ahead.
All right, you're doing all right.
Will replace Yusuke Matsuda as the company's president and representative director. Kiru will serve as the president and representative director of both Square Enix Holdings Company Limited and Square Enix Co. Limited. The company plans to officially finalize the change in shareholder meetings in May and June. Says Matsuda will retire from the company. He became president and representative director of Square Enix Co. Limited in April of 2013 and of Square Enix Holdings Co. Limited and Company Limited in June 2013. Square Enix stated regarding the change, under the rapid change of business environment surrounding the entertainment industry, the proposed change is intended to reshape the management team with the goal of adopting ever evolving technological innovations and maximizing on creativity of the company's group in order to deliver even greater entertainment to its customers around the world. And it goes on to say that Kiryu became the general manager of Square Enix's corporate planning division in June 2020. He then became the chief strategy officer and executive officer for the company's corporate strategy and corporate communications department in April 2021. He became the chairman of the board of Square Enix in China in January 2022, and then the director of Square Enix Co. Limited in May 2022. He later became the director of Square Enix Holdings in June 2022. So you can pretty much say that Square Enix is under new management. And let's see. Lil Spec says the Star Wars guys. Settings, system display. To change your screen resolution, use the drop down menu.
I just did that and it made everything huge.
Well, why don't I have a sound bite for something like that? Huge. It made everything huge. So
yes.
Paul was here. Paul was here. He was trying to play Hogwarts Legacy. He's been trying it for years. trying to get his computer to play it. And then he changed the settings and it was huge.
Huge. Yeah. Shut up, Beavis.
Shut up, Beavis. Dumbass. All right, let's see what Crit has to say about this.
Oh no.
Yeah, okay. He is talking about Emerald City Comic Con, which is where he's been over the weekend. He says Emerald City Comic Con, really big and fun, real licensed stuff from Bandai Namco and Ghibli. David Hayter and Eric Vale, genuine actors. Another of cringe rainbow flags and horrible dyed haircuts.
Well, you could have changed. You didn't have to go there like that. Come on.
Nobody told you to jump into that rainbow colored paint, Crit.
He's a rainbow orca. Huge.
Huge.
Yes.
Huge.
And Lil Spec says, I run 720p on my 13-inch laptop because 1080p is too little.
And just to make sure I had the right option picked, low spec, it's 1280 by 720. That's the correct one, right?
And Crit, are you sure you're just not thinking about the Skittles that you had prior to getting to the convention?
Well, he sounds like he's getting excited for that Greg show at Star Wars celebration. He with that stage,
the fact that is even a thing at Star Wars celebration.
Somebody clip that.
Yeah, please. I mean, I love that someone else cringed down there like that. That's not me.
If you like that stuff, good for you. But at Star Wars Celebration of all places, really?
RuPaul Amidala. You don't want to see that.
And Angry Canadian says, I'll catch y'all later. I dropped a like. Well, thank you, Angry Canadian. Get some
Thank
sleep.
you. Don't be so angry now. Calm down. Calm down. We got you. We got your
And
back.
don't forget to subscribe to those who are on the panel. By the way, Paul, I got to put your link into the description and also here.
I gotcha. If it wasn't Get Good Prints, it was LGBT authors trying to get you to buy their book. I could believe that.
What? Jeff Smith was disrespected?
Wow.
Holy. I got all the Bone books over here. My one daughter was big into Bone, and I was kind of meaning to kick open it. You can't disrespect that, man. Jiminy crickets. This is released McCracken time on them.
Yes. And this, by the way, is true. Timothy Zahn was just kind of in a corner at the Nashville convention. If he comes back to this year's ICC, we'll see if that's true again.
Well, they don't like the old ones. Honestly, him and Luchenko, I think, are the only authors of the EU that came over and did stuff for this new canon.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't like the people that did the old stuff. They won't talk to anybody that's over there. Stackpole or
Alan Dean Foster.
Well, Alan Dean Foster. Yeah, I wouldn't expect Alan Dean Foster to come back for much. He kind of had a bad taste experience, but I know he did. The original Star Wars novel. He did, of course, Splinter Mind's Eye. Which did he do one of the prequel books?
I know he did The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. That's what I meant. Yeah, Force Awakens. So they did grab him to do that, and he said he was really upset because there were so many things that was handed to him in that script that he just couldn't wait to get into, and they changed it all. The stronger story arcs and such. So, and that's just it. You're grabbing these authors that know how to write and know the stories, and you got the peanut gallery, and they can't threaten that peanut gallery of these new authors. They're quicker to want to put their pronouns and their sexual preferences than actually their talent on their bio page.
Yeah.
Paul, got a question for you, brother.
Okay.
Because you had a live stream earlier. Did you notice how the chat on YouTube is showing up before it actually shows up on StreamYards? As far as
I
the
didn't
next
notice
comment?
this. No, I didn't.
Yeah, because Crit's comment here, it actually showed up on YouTube before it showed up on StreamYards.
No, if anything, I usually notice the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So something's up with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Crit was saying he didn't find out he was doing stuff outside of the main hall until end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
He was already gone. Prefer getting autographs at the end of the line. Actors are more relaxed and love to talk for a while.
Right. They don't feel so rushed anymore.
Yeah. Did Hader and Eric Bell had good, genuine talks with me, like COVID, One Piece, Metal Gear, and he also says he didn't know Hader wrote Watchmen movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the guys. Yeah, I think there's a few that was part of that team, but yeah, he was in that one. They had the unenviable job to try to translate that into a movie.
And from what I've heard, it didn't turn out well.
Well, the series, from what I heard, wasn't that great, but I actually liked the movie. But my tastes are different from everyone else.
I think the problem with the translation of the movie was they had to change certain things because of time constraints and how to put it together. So it kind of sacrificed on that one. If you were going to do the Watchmen, it was either going to be two. You have to either do 2 films or you have to do it as a mini series. Like on the streaming services now. But the
Right.
Watchmen TV show, that was pure crap. That was BS garbage.
Hmm.
And straight off the bat, they were making it known they were disrespecting Alan Moore and basically saying, "We don't care. We're doing this now. The children are playing." Not that I'm a big fan of Alan Moore, but I mean, still, that kind of shows why he has a disdain for Hollywood doing this stuff, and that was a perfect example there.
I mean, to me, and this is just how I work. If you invite somebody on, give them respect.
Mm-hmm.
If you invite somebody to your convention, show them the proper respect that they deserve.
Yeah.
They're spending, part of their weekend at your convention. Yeah, they're getting paid to do so, but still, they could be doing something else.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these people are getting a little extra because they pay for the autograph or whatever because of one reason or another. But they're just sitting there doing nothing. It's like that's the last thing a star, a writer, an artist, or whatever needs to feel shoved off in the corner and ignored.
And Whoopa says Alan Moore, the proof that even an author cannot understand his own source material.
That's true. Alan Moore is bonkers.
And Crit also says I had courage and asked Metal Gear Reunion about involvement with Metal Gear Remake. No comment. Had some anxiety asking them and forgot to tell them name. At least I told Hater about anxiety. Well, I mean, I can understand having anxiety. It's your time to ask the question, and there have been times where you're thinking to yourself before you're even called, this is what I'm going to ask, and then you get up there and you just freeze up. It's like, oh crap, what was I going to say?
Yeah, it's kind of like Ralphie with Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
You want a football, don't you? Yeah.
Football? And he also adds, he assured me everything is good. Then we had a long discussion. I also shouted out to Robin Atkin Downs. Nice.
Oh, cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear all about the convention, Crit, and I know we will. And matter of fact, if you want to talk about it on next Sunday's Pop Talk, you can, because this Sunday, Baron, yeah, I'm gonna need you to come in Wednesday. That would be great.
I'll see what I can do.
And Paul,
yeah.
I'm gonna need you to move your desk into storage. Yeah, that would be great.
I don't get it.
And don't forget to file your TPS reports.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Office Space. We will be watching Office Space in the Pacific 414 Discord this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then we will be discussing it this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Pop Talk.
I'm afraid I'm not going to make it on that one because of church practice.
I understand. And gentlemen, we have 2 articles left. We could talk about Dune. Yes.
Before you do, I do want to say one thing about that. I do want to say one thing about that Square Enix thing. The reason I wanted to go ahead and go with that one is because even though I'm not the biggest Square Enix fanboy, there are certain aspects of Square Enix that I am actively invested in, that being the Kingdom Hearts games, and to a much lesser extent, although I do want to finish Final Fantasy, because I did start Final Fantasy VII. I do intend to finish that, and pretty much with this new change in leadership with Square Enix, I'm kind of curious what's going to happen with those 2 properties going forward.
You got vested interest in that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's
blame
something
it.
wrong with that because
No.
you want to know what the future for particular franchises are going to be.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I mean, are they going to do more? Or they, it's like it throws everything into a higgly piggly. You don't know if you should be happy, afraid, all the above. Cautiously optimistic,
Mm-hmm.
optimistically cautious. Take your pick.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I just want to show you in case nobody's seen Mordok yet,
Uh-oh.
and that'd be understandable if you don't care, but
Uh-oh.
if you
Uh-oh.
look right here, that's what he looked like in the movie. And I'm going,
You gotta be effing kidding me.
I'm not effing kidding you. I'm not effing kidding you.
That's like looks like Kevin Pollak's head.
That's what it was.
Just
What? Why?
more proof as to why I made a good decision at, with the exception of Spider-Man No Way Home, getting off the MCU train after Endgame.
Why? What?
Because
Why?
they can. Because they can.
Or rather, because they can't do any better right now, because they're putting out so much stuff. When you consider both the movies and the Marvel shows on Disney Plus, their poor special effects people are likely being overworked, and therefore standards have slipped.
Overworked and not paid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're hearing stories that their artists aren't being paid for doing the CGI work. Authors aren't being paid for writing the books.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we were just talking about Alan Dean Foster earlier. I mean, he was getting when Disney took over, they thought they didn't have to pay him back, the royalties on that. It's like, no, you bought the property. Any book that comes out that Star Wars are Splinter of the Mind's Eye, he gets paid on. He gets whatever residual.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Star Wars has George Lucas's name on it. And the same thing also goes for the Force Awakens, which he did there. You can't do that. You just can't go. Stealing talent. That's what it is. It's stealing talent. Someone's hard work.
And Disney thinks they can get away with it because they are a monopoly.
Yeah.
Arguably the biggest monopoly out there right now.
Yeah, and who's really going to step forth and stop him?
Mm-hmm.
Themselves.
The FCC should have stepped forward and said, wait a minute, you guys own too much.
Well, they would, except there's too much political backroom shenanigans going on there. Trust me, if this was a different company, they'd be knocking on their door saying, I'm sorry, you can't do that.
Right. But some of that is starting to come to light now in the light of everything going on in Florida with Ron DeSantis.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You got that going on there. And really, I said this on the Kings, but what we're seeing is all sorts of cracking in and around it. I mean, with the new law that they're passing in California, where you have to, you have to have
checkbox requirements
to get a certain discount, not the full, but because there's all sorts of tax incentives, but another tax incentive above and beyond that, you have to have that. And
so
this is
hold on, time out for a second.
Yeah.
Are you saying that according to this new law, if your studio checks all of these social justice check boxes, you get a tax discount?
Yeah, exactly. And basically,
especially if you film in California.
Yeah. Oh, especially in California, because it's all part of the equality, quote unquote.
It's not real equality. That's for
no.
Sure. That's for
Well, this is where I was sitting back saying about the glass half empty, glass half full. I mean, the glass half full is sitting back saying, "Oh, look, we're doing out there so we can get all these people in." The glass half empty is saying, "No, you are discriminating. You're saying specifically, this group do not apply because we don't want to see you here. We want to bypass you for somebody else." Excuse me. Back in the 60s, we had a law that changed that where it doesn't matter what gender, doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, you have a fair chance for a job, and of course, as it goes, the same pay wages. When they sit back and say about women not getting enough, only so much over $1. Excuse me, that's illegal. That law was made. So enough of that BS. It's just the fact that you have a group of people that are coming in that don't have the experience of some. Someone that gets with more experience is going to get more money. Doesn't matter again what gender or ethnicity you are. And this one is saying we don't care about your talent. We're judging by the content of your skin, not the character or who you are. Right. Isn't that complete 180 from what MLK said?
It is. Mm-hmm. Who wants to go hijack a spaceship and just abandon Earth with me?
I'm gone. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm doing a call. Excuse me, can the 4 horsemen please come? I'm waiting. Come on, 4 horsemen. I got some oats for them. But no, I mean, this is a bigoted law, and this is another one of the straws on the camel's back. This is another one of the cracks that, within like I said, in that 5 year, which we're coming now into 4 years, is going to cause the collapse. These are the wild cards that are coming in. That's helping that. So, I mean, Disney being arguably the large one, and no one's wanting to do a damn thing about it. Well, they're crumbling just as much as anybody else. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see which property gets sold off first, or which property is extinguished. I mean, Touchstone's not around no more. They got rid of Buena Vista, so because they were unnecessary. Now, what's going to be on the chopping block are the sales block.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, with everything that's going on, all I gotta say is Pacific to Enterprise, 3 to beam up. Mm-hmm.
I want to go to the planet of death by Snoo Snoo.
Not a bad way to go.
Please.
Hold on. Please? Are you talking about Angel 1?
No.
I bet you Futurama. Have you, Paul?
Oh. Okay.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
I'll see if I can find the clip and try to play it. And
Have you watched Futurama, Paul?
No,
seriously. Oh, come on! You got to watch that, man. That is a great. I mean, this show is science fiction and comedy. It's just and satire. This and going after tropes. Oh, it's a beautiful show.
It is PACIFIC414 Pop Talk right now.
Is that the long-suffering Mrs. Tag in the background?
Yeah, she's talking with someone trying to figure out what am I doing over here.
Oh,
and she's saying that.
Hello, ma'am.
Paul says hi, by the way, Pookie.
What?
Paul says hi.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah. I'll bring up the clip and I'll try to pause it if I have to, and all that.
Old man in the chat saying lose both coasts and everyone wins. That is true, but then again, I'm on the East Coast, so you'd lose me.
I'm on the East
Everybody
Coast.
Wins.
All right, here we go.
You want die like last men visit Amazonia?
What'd they die of?
Crushed pelvises.
Oof.
Yes!
Oh, thank you, Lord in heaven.
After lengthy computations, I, Femputer,
B. Arthur,
have decided the fate of the men. Femputer sentences them to death! By Snoo Snoo!
Yeah!
Wow.
What are you, gay?
My lord.
And see when that show came out originally, they could get away with that
and more.
And now they're gonna bring it back. They can't make jokes like that anymore.
Oh God, I know. I'm scared about that. I mean, part of me would love to see more Futurama, but the other part is I can't remember if it was Cred or Cash that said back said it had a great finale. They don't need to do anything more. So
That sounds like something Cash said.
yeah, it was Cash. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was Cash or Crit that said that. So, after a while, those two kind of meld together in me. I don't know why. I kind of there's like two entities but one body type of thing, or two bodies in one entity. I don't know.
Crypt money.
Crit money. Yeah, well, I said that before. Crit money. Yeah. Lord
All
Cash.
Right. So with 2 articles left, which do you want to talk about?
Let's get Dune out of the way.
So the Dune
Let's
one?
do that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do this Dune one because I'm a Dune fan. Oh, sorry.
And again, for clarification for those watching, this has nothing to do with Dune Part 2 to the movie, correct?
No. This is its own TV series.
Yeah, which I'm concerned about big time. Especially the fact that, it is HBO that's doing it.
All right, it says Dune the Sisterhood undergoes big time creative changes following source material departure. HBO gets rid of members of the creative team and even a star of the show to return the series closer to the source material.
Oh, yay, that's good news.
Article starts off by saying it's learned that Dune the Sisterhood series has been in production and in development at HBO Max is undergoing big time creative changes, which follows the series originally departing from the source material. Deadline has the exclusive where they report that co-showrunner and director and even a star of the series are leaving and will be replaced.
Wow.
John Reck, who executive produced Chernobyl 2 at HBO Max, was supposed to direct the first 2 episodes but has exited and is no longer involved with the production of Dune the Sisterhood, now halted as a search is underway for a replacement. Shirley Henderson, who was playing one of the lead roles with Tulua Harkonnen, will also be replaced. It goes on to say it's further reported that Diane Ademu, I don't know if I'm saying that right, John, who had written the pilot episode script, is stepping down as co-showrunner, and that Alison Schaper will actually become the sole showrunner.
Okay.
And it says creative changes being made to stay true to the source material. Per an official spokesperson for HBO Max, the reason for the creative changes is due to returning Dune the Sisterhood, closer to the source material. Dune and Dune Part 2 director Denis Villeneuve actually deleted all references to Dune the Sisterhood series from his Instagram. So we see Villeneuve obviously wasn't happy with where this was headed.
Okay.
Goes on to say, Deadline also adds that director John Reck's approach to the series didn't align with HBO's vision, as apparently it sounds like Reck was going with his own approach to what the series should be, and that Wrench moved away from the source material. Hollywood loves to do that. Yes, we all know.
Mm-hmm.
Rex footage was footage that has been filmed is now in doubt whether it will be used, which would be up to the new director.
That makes sense.
And we have a quote here that says, as Dune the Sisterhood has entered a pre-scheduled hiatus, there are some creative changes being made to the production in an effort to create the best series possible and stay true to the source material, an HBO Max spokesperson said in a statement to Deadline. John Reck has completed his work on the series and a new director will be brought on. Through mutual agreement, Johan is moving on to pursue other projects. Additionally, Shirley Henderson will be exiting the series and will no longer be playing Tula Harkonnen. It goes on to say, with production halted, possibly by as much as 7 months, to fix the scripts and rework them. It is also said that may lead to more conflicts with actors' schedules, so there may be more exits and recastings.
So, quick question.
Mhm.
Is there an actual source material? Yes, I know the Dune story itself, but is there an actual Dune sisterhood story with this hypothetical Tula Harkonnen to it?
Well, as that goes, I don't know about that fully, but there was. I mean, they say they're adapting the 2012 novel that was written by Brian Herbert, who's the son of Frank Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. And the book takes place 10,000 years before the events. Basically, you're looking at the events that were built with the Butlerian Jihad and the change of everything and the rise of the houses.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was briefly touched upon in Dune itself, with a little bit of the history on that one and throughout the original series by Frank. But it's the Dune EU, I suppose, is the best way to say it. The one that started up with Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, that expanded upon that. And there is some contention among Dune fans. I suppose you have what you call the purists that just stay with the Frank Herbert books, and then you have the other ones that gravitate to all of it with the other books. I have found myself the Brian Herbert, Kevin J. Anderson's books kind of lacking. I'm not saying they're not talented writers, but I found it lacking for the Dune universe, and I've only read a few of their stuff. I tried reading the prequel, basically, series to the Dune, the House Harkonnen, House Atreides, House whatever.
Right.
But read those, and I actually quit reading the last one about halfway through because I was going, this is boring. I know what's going to happen with all this. There's nothing to really grab me. Having a novel like this, 10,000 Years, I've never read it. But, at least you have more wiggle room to do stuff and not have certainties.
All I have to say is there better be a soundtrack by Toto, otherwise I'm going to riot.
Well, I doubt that. But yeah, I mean, that was a good soundtrack for the
It was.
84. Yeah. I mean, it's like having Queen for
Flash Gordon.
And Highlander.
Yes. And I do want to say good evening to Janet from Another Planet.
Hi, Janet.
Good to see you, Janet. All right. This article continues by saying HBO Max adapts the 2012 novel set 10,000 years before the original Dune. Dune the Sisterhood adapts the 2012 science fiction novel by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, set in the Dune universe created by Frank Herbert. The novel and series are a prequel to the Dune original and take place approximately 10,000 years before the events of Herbert's 1965 novel Dune, focusing on the origins of Ben Gesserit.
Benny Gesserit.
Oh, Benny. Sorry.
Yep. No problem. I'm here to help you.
And that's right. The Harkonnen sisters, and exclusive sisterhood and political force whose members undergo physical training and mental conditioning to obtain superhuman powers and abilities. The cast also includes Emily Watson as Valiant Harkonnen and Indira Varma as Empress Natalia, Sarah Sophie Bosunia as Princess Yanez, and you know what? I'm not going to read the rest of these names.
I don't blame you. I don't blame
unless you want to hear me butcher them, but I'm looking at going no. I'm not going. I'm not going there.
I'm not blaming you, but the thing is all this important stuff in there. Even though this is what we consider the Dune EU series, of books.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in its own universe of Dune. They're wanting to go off that material that was written by Herbert and Anderson. So let's not go with the book. We want to do the book, but let's not do the book. Again, with that hubris that they did with Ring of Power, oh yeah, we know how Tolkien is, but we don't care. Tolkien is this and the S and the foam, and we're going to do what Tolkien really wanted, and if he was around now, how he would write it, which is bullshit.
Please.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyone that says this is what say, Gene Roddenberry wanted, this is what Walt Disney would have wanted. No, the only people that can answer that question would be Gene Roddenberry or Walt Disney, or in this case, Frank Herbert for Dune, what he would have wanted.
And the thing is,
J.R.R. Tolkien, what he would have wanted.
And there's one thing we do have that helps out, that makes their voice from the grave. You have the letters of Tolkien. Herbert also had his letters in discussing what Dune was about. And what he was looking at with how he was going with the story. So there's stuff out there. I mean, they say, well, we don't know what they want. It's like there's hundreds of hours of Tolkien talking about Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and in the world that encompasses it. So don't give me that BS. And the same thing here. And now what's even worse is, of course, Herbert and Anderson, young Herbert, Brian, is alive and well. So they're willing to do it while these guys are still alive.
Yes.
I'm sorry not to laugh too loud, but I'm reading that, and I'm going to go ahead and read it out loud.
Do it.
Whoopa says, if I write a story and someone says it's what Whoopa would have wanted, and there's no big booby space ladies, they're liars.
Yeah, how many boobies, by the way? 2, 3? Are we going to go the route of Total Recall?
Or Star Trek 5?
Are we talking an even amount of boobies? Are we talking about an odd number of boobies? Come on.
Some in front, some in back.
Well, what's the memories? Come on, tell us about the memories.
Thanks for the memories. No, but anytime you start going that, we're going back. You know how HBO could have fixed this problem right away?
How?
Stay with the source material.
Yep.
It's not that hard.
No,
it's not.
And you know something? Don't kid yourself. I'm sure the backlash against stuff like Rings of Power is something that helped make them start thinking, well, maybe they look at these backlashes. This is the stuff that helps start encouraging people to start thinking outside of the proverbial box and go, well, maybe we shouldn't keep riding on these coattails. Let's have some new coattails from someone to ride on, and that'd be ours. And hey, I know, let's keep to what the original intent was.
The hell you say?
Exactly. Thank you, Al.
I thought that was the perfect clip to play.
Well, yeah, it is. It is. I mean, honest to Pete, you're messing with one of the greatest science fiction books ever written. The original Dune, that is.
Yeah.
And even, I would go beyond that, one of the greatest English written books, American written English books out there. That shouldn't be passed over because it's quote unquote sci-fi. You're going to mess around with this? No. There's too many people that love these books so much. It's just like the backlash you had with Tolkien. I mean, you're going to really, honestly, going to go mess with this and expect everyone to go, that's okay. Like they don't know or remember what they read or watched in the case of the movies.
That is true.
It's like
or like I was talking about, earlier in the broadcast, talking about, Quantum Mania.
Yeah.
That movie is pretty much forgettable. It's like, okay, yeah, this happened, that happened, and what was that character's name? Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, when Kathleen Kennedy and, of course, the others like Pablo Hidalgo parroting along, we have no source material to go off to do Star Wars. What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I said it when I covered those books. The Thrawn trilogy by themselves very well could have and probably should have been the sequel trilogy. Like just imagine that. if George Lucas in the 90s decided to take what Timothy Zahn did in the Thrawn trilogy and postpone making the prequels to do the Thrawn trilogy as movies when you still had Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford in their primes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he was wanting to make sure his ex-wife didn't get any money. That was one of the problems why things were pushed back.
Not to mention his involvement with Indiana Jones.
Right. And I think he was burned out at that time because there was a legitimate burnout of Star Wars about especially around 85. I mean, that's when Star Wars Mania really kind of crashed and no one ever thought it would ever come back again. But yet it did. And you'll find that as you delve into a lot of the EU books. I'm not saying they're all good, hardly the case. There's some really bad turkey stories. But you're going to find some that this should have been a story. I mean, when you dive into the Jedi Academy trilogy that they have out there, it's like, wow, this is a great building of a Jedi story out there. Or it's an adequate one, or whatever. But still, it's better than what we got. More believable than we got. Something to make us care.
Which, again, just as a reminder, it's Dark Empire that's next chronologically, correct?
Yeah, and that's a comic book series. Dark Empire 2, and then Empire's End.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought I was talking about novels.
No, and novel-wise, if you're going for novels, now I'm going chronologically as it goes for printed publications, and this is including comic books.
Okay.
Basically, it's basically the Heir of the Empire trilogy, or the Thrawn trilogy.
Yes.
To be more correct. Then you had the Dark Empire comic book series, 6 comics, 2 with 6 comics, and Empire Ends with 2 comics. That is next chronologically, and then it's Jedi Academy trilogy, and that's
Then, if I can
by Kevin J. Anderson.
If I can find some form of version of Dark Empire, I will cover it. But Jedi Academy, as far as books, is where we're going next. Then.
Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of funny. When I read that book, the first one, that was in '94, and the reason why I know it's '94 is I took that with me when I went to Norway for the Olympics. So that was my reading book. But I was over there in Norway reading the book, and I had so many Norwegians flocking around me, going, "Is this the book? Is this going to be what the new Star Wars film is going to be?" They saw that and they legitimately were thinking, "Oh, is this something to look for the new Star Wars?" It's like, no, it's just a book. I'm sorry, I wish.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just getting Heir to the Empire in Norway at that time.
Oh, okay.
In fact, that's what was in the bookshelf was the Heir to the Empire, and it's like, boy, I'm kind of ahead on you guys here. I'm
right.
Trying to make you feel bad.
But I mean, that's what got people excited was reading well-written books.
Yeah. And I'm sure, even though I'm not a big fan of the Dune EU, it's something that's really kept things going for Dune fans and probably helped with having this new movie and, of course, the sequel coming out here.
Right.
And no one can say that there isn't enough material to go off of and keep to what the story is about. You cannot deviate off of what Dune is about. Frank Herbert had this intention about it. It was the deconstruction of messiahs. It's warning. Don't trust messiahs. He might not necessarily be a messiah. Amongst other things, ecology. You can take a look at this book as being a science fiction middle-aged book where people are sailing to get their spices along overseas and the long distances they have to do that. And of course, if you want to get into fantasy elements, instead of dragons, you have worms. Or maybe the dragons have worms. I don't know. Did they go to the vet lately? You have to ask me. But you start getting off of what the Bene Gesserit or the Bene Talaxu, the Mentats, the Spacing Guild. If you start getting off of what that's all about in a story like this, you have just destroyed the foundations of this universe. And somebody woke up somewhere, thank God. Maybe it was Denny Venero or whatever you pronounce his name, sitting back taking the stuff off his Instagram. Obviously, that's a sign to discuss. This man has a love for Dune, and it shows.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And real quick, I wanted to stay for this whole stream, but I'm starting to get tired, so I'm going to go ahead and drop off so that I can get some sleep for work.
Oh, he's pulling the cash money on us. I see.
I am. But thank you, Pacific, for
thank you, Paul. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Absolutely. And I know we already talked about it earlier, Mike, but we are likely going to have another discussion at some point tomorrow about Tuesday Night Trek, especially with some info that I was reminded of from Crits about his travel plans. We got to work that in. So I'll get with you guys at some point in VC in our secret Discord, okay?
Yeah, sure. So all I have to do is get those Russian whalers the right coordinates, and we'll get Crit back fast.
Yeah.
True. All right. See you guys later, okay?
Hey, take care, Paul. Good talking to you.
Good talking to you, too.
Not that I don't talk to him much. It's like, it make it sound like we hardly were talking. It's like, hey, good talking to you. So,
we always ignore each other. We try to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Cash. Hey, Paul. And what do? We see the message and we go, I ain't talking to that guy.
You people, those people, I tell you. I mean,
I was on Twitter last night, and these people, I swear.
I think that's the real reason why he's not on here, because he was sounding pretty damn good when I talked to him. He did one of his 26-hour Twitter routines again.
He probably did. Yes, Cash. We are talking about you.
No, we're mocking you.
I was trying to be nice, but
I'm not. Yeah, when have I been nice?
I mean, it is Cash. Why am I holding back? Why am I being nice to him?
Yeah, it's not like it's Crit. We like Crit.
Guys, I don't feel good. I'm not coming on the show. I feel like I'm dying, man.
Though, unfortunately, he's gone.
Let me guess. You feel like you're dying every time you're out Pop Talk, huh? Is that what you're trying to say, Cash?
Oh, you know what? Whenever you talk to us. But, the thing is unfortunately, Paul's left. I don't have the opportunity to dig this one to him where he said back, I'm so sick, I can't go on. And then all of a sudden, we have a call-in on Echo-Based Network. Yeah, Master Paul, what do you have to say? It's like,
wait, what?
Whoa, wait a moment here. I'm sick. Yeah, I just want to talk about this situation with you, Coach.
Hey, Paul. Paul, yes, we are aware of that, man. I wish you were still here because, we like to give each other a hard time. Doesn't matter if it's on Discord. Doesn't matter if it's on a live stream. We give each other a hard time. Phil gives us a hard time. We give it right back.
Who's Phil?
Phil McCracken, Scottish therapist.
That's played by his favorite actor of all time, Patrick Stewart. Who has this to say?
This is Patrick Stewart, and I wish to tell Phil McCracken that I hate him also.
All right, Baron, we got one more story for tonight.
What is this last story?
The last story is about the Penguin series beginning filming.
I'm a little concerned about this, I have to say.
I don't know that it's needed. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's not needed.
Well, yeah, exactly. But, got this from comic book, I don't know, Anima?
Comicbook.com.
Oh, .com.
I don't know. Sometimes you read some of these articles and they give you an enema.
Yeah, that's true. Anima. Da, 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 da. Anima. Da, da, da.
Da, da, da. Let me go ahead and put the link to the article in the chat.
That's so you can read along. I don't do that because I can't read.
Or they could just look at it and go, Mike, you expect me to read that? You read it. I want to hear you. I want to laugh.
Yeah, that's me. That's me in a nutshell right there.
All right. So this article says The Batman, the Penguin HBO Max spinoff begins filming. This is by Jenna Anderson, and it was posted on the 3rd of this month, which was Friday. It says the Batman spinoff series is one step closer to becoming a reality. A new post by production designer Kielana Ivankov, I probably butchered that,
Oh,
reveals
go ahead. Deserves it.
that the Penguin HBO Max series has officially begun filming. The series, which follows the ongoing adventures of Colin Farrell's Oswald Cobblepot the Penguin, was greenlit for the streaming service last year, just as The Batman was arriving in theaters. Goes on to say, the first day of shooting, The Penguin is in the can. Ivankov's caption reads, only the compass can tell us in what Gotham direction we're going. Okay. My lips are sealed. The Penguin, filmmaking, HBO Max, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Thank you, Seinfeld.
Mm. It says, who is the cast of The Penguin? It says the cast of The Penguin includes Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot, The Penguin, Christian Melody as Sophia Falcone, Clancy Brown as Salvatore Moroni,
Oh, he's a
as
great
well.
actor.
Yeah, I love him. He's a great character actor. He's a great voice actor. Renzi Feliz, I'm sorry, as well as Renzi Feliz.
Not
It
done.
also goes on to say Michael Kelly and Shorin. I'm not even going to try that one. I'm going to end up butchering it. And we have Deidre O'Connell. And it goes on to say the only thing I had an idea was that I wasn't nearly getting to explore the character as much as I wanted to, Farrell explained in a recent interview with Variety, because there was all this extraordinary work done by makeup artists Mike Marino and Mike Fontaine and his team, and I just thought it was the tip of the iceberg, pardon the pun, that we were getting to do 6 or 7 scenes that we did in the film. I was grateful for them, but I wanted more. And it says, what is the penguin about? It says, while the plot details surrounding the penguin are currently under wraps, it is expected to take place in the the aftermath of the events of the Batman. We are thrilled to bring audiences a new version of this iconic DC character that they have never seen before. Sarah Aubrey, head of original content HBO Max, said in the statement when the show was announced, it is incredible to be working with Matt, Dylan, and Lauren on continuing the story and to see Colin take his already exceptional performance in the Batman to the next level. It says Colin exploded off the screen as the Penguin in the Batman, and having the chance to thoroughly explore the inner life of that character on HBO Max is an absolute thrill. The Batman director Matt Reeves echoed, Dylan and I are so excited to work with Lauren in continuing Oz's story as he grabs violently for power in Gotham. And the last part here says, I have long been a fan of the world of the Batman, and Matt's film is such a powerful and bold entry into the canon. I'm excited and humbled to continue telling stories in the grimy world of Gotham City. And it finishes off by saying, and what better excuse to channel my inner villain than to tell the story of Oswald Cobblepot? I am thrilled to work with Colin, Matt, Dylan, Sixth and Idaho, Warner's, and HBO Max as we work to bring this story to the screen, said showrunner Lauren LaFranc. So that's it. That's what we got.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we are lucky here. Just a second. I have some footage here of them getting ready for the Penguin series.
Okay.
Beverly,
And I do want to say hello to Nova Vaughn. This is exclusive footage here, folks.
That's the exclusive footage of the Penguin TV show that they have going. They're
So
working really hard. And look at them. I mean, they're in character. I mean, I think this is going to be good.
yeah. I mean, wow, that costume work is great, and look at
Yeah,
the scenery. It looks authentic.
it
What do you
does,
think,
doesn't it?
Baron?
I mean, this is it. I mean, look at that one right there. I mean, look how he snuck up on the other one like that. That is
Yeah,
pure.
that's the penguin right there.
Yeah, this is gonna.
He's gonna off the other penguin.
Yeah, that look, he did it. He got off. Look at that, and he's so happy. The other penguin is swimming with the fishies. You know, this is going to be an action-packed series, folks. Really, honestly, I know it
And
does.
Whoopa says it looks fantastic. And look, it works, Baron. Look
Yeah,
who's here.
I know it did.
Hello, Anonymous. How you doing, brother? How you doing, fellow wizard?
His 10-inch wood.
Yeah. If we zoom in closer, we can probably see Punk Waddle as an extra in the series.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was actually around the back. He was around the back. So, but yeah, I mean, there you go. No, it's kind of. I got a little nervous. I didn't realize. I should have realized it because it was talked about before that this was based off of the Batman movie, which is not officially part of the DCU, which is going to confuse the effing daylights out of people. Because it's like, oh, this Batman. What about this Batman? Oh, there's that Batman. And it's like, again, it's still part of what DC has to fix up. Is just focus on something. Just focus. Quit. Put the squirrel on Adderall already. Okay.
I mean, that's the whole problem with James Gunn's announcement about how they're going to continue the Matt Reeves storylines as far as the Penguin series is concerned, as far as the Batman movie is concerned, but they're also going to do their own thing too. It's like, pick one.
Right.
One or the other. One stays, one has to go.
Right. And it's going to be all encompassing. This is going to be movies, TV, games. What else? I'm sure it's going to seep into comics too.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid, the wow. I mean, something based off of comics actually going back in the comics. Wow.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is a good spot to end tonight's Sunday edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. I realize it's short compared to what you're all normally used to, but since we did start later than normal, I didn't want to keep the stream going on for hours and hours and hours, especially with it being Sunday and tomorrow being the start of the work week.
Because this is the last thing we want to have you, our viewers, do to us tomorrow because we went too long and you had to get up really early for work with hardly any sleep and get mad at us. We don't want this happening to us.
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
Yeah, so we're only thinking of you people. We're only thinking of you people.
Yes. But before we go, once again, I want to invite everybody to the watch party Tuesday night at 8 p.m. in the PACIFIC414 Discord and the watch party voice chat. We will be watching Office Space. Yeah, that would be great if you all could come in and watch the movie and then we can talk about it on Wednesday's Pop Talk. Yeah, if you could be there, that would be great.
Well, that's my day off. I'm going fishing.
Baron, we report to Pop Talk at 6 p.m. on Wednesday.
Oh.
And don't forget to file your TPS reports and yeah.
I have a lot of TPS reports.
Yeah. And old man, if you could be there, that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But by the way, somebody has a meeting with the Bobs later on.
Like I said, I've seen that. I mean, I think it could be considered to say I've seen the film all the way through, but unfortunately, it was always in little bits and pieces, and not chronologically either.
Yeah.
So it's going to be nice to actually sit back, and it was also on Comedy Central, so it was edited. So I can't wait to see Mike Judge giving us this movie in pure form.
But if the Bobs were to show up on Pop Talk, they would probably ask me, "What is it that you would say you would exactly do here?"
Yeah.
I speak into the microphone. I read articles badly and try to entertain people and make them laugh. And do you believe that you're succeeding? Do you believe that you're helping your fellow YouTubers? Yeah. That's not the answer we were looking for. Goodbye. Wait. You're getting rid of the channel? Not if I have anything to say about it, Bob. But no, I mean, for me, Office Space was one of those movies I hadn't seen in theaters, but I was visiting my grandmother in California back in '99, and was staying at a friend's house, and we went to the video store. Remember those kids?
No.
Video
What's
stores.
that? I don't know
You used to go and rent videos. You know, the video rental store, rent videos, rent games, and
Oh.
you could keep them for, depending on the store, for 3 days, maybe 1 day, maybe 5 days, depending on the store.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
And you could watch the movie at home, and then you could return it. And if you didn't return it on time, there's a late fee.
Unfortunately, I know that too much. Not because of me either.
I can't act like, oh, I never had to pay late fees. Yeah, I had to pay late fees.
I had to because of my former wife. I went to the video store that was in town. Gonna pick up a movie. Go, yeah. There's this movie that came in late. It's like, what movie? Yeah, The Day After Tomorrow. Impossible. That's not a film I'd watch. Okay, then I go home. Yeah, I rented that while you were gone, and I kind of forgot about getting it back to the video store.
Or there are, times where mom and dad would say, "Did you return that video?" Yeah, I returned it. Yeah, sure. And then you're looking for the video. There it is. Where's the case? There's the case.
Yep.
Get on the bike and race down to the video store.
But was it rewound? Were you kind and did you rewind?
Sometimes I wasn't so kind. I didn't rewind.
You could get billed extra for that too, you know.
Yeah, they did. They did.
You did? They got ya? Okay, cool. See, I was a good boy.
And Anonymous is saying, I'm going to listen to Michael Bolton and celebrate his entire collection. Michael Bolton? Like the singer?
Yeah, he was.
And if you've watched Office Space, you know.
Yeah. You know, I would see him doing it anyways, despite the movie.
Yeah, I think Anonymous is a big Michael Bolton fan.
And Kenny G.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He has that clarinet fixation. You know?
Wait. I thought I heard a rumor that Anonymous plays the clarinet.
Ooh. He blows on the woods, huh?
Wow, let's see, it's the Michael Bolton. But, Baron, is there anything that you have coming up?
Not really planned. You know, obviously, I'm getting myself armed. You know, basically, armed, wrestled into, of course, Office Space and various stuff like that. So, I'll put up with it. I'll survive. I'll survive. But I am celebrating the fact that that the STD, they finally found a cure of that, and it's going to be going away after next year.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and end the show by celebrating? Yeah, no more Star Trek Discovery. Woo!
Yeah, so no more Picard because this is the last of Picard, and they're even saying that Strange New Worlds might be on the chopping block too. So Da 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 da. La 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 la.
You're gone!
Goodbye.
Oh, yes. And if anybody has a problem with that reaction,
If you've got an issue, here's a tissue.
Up your shaft. That's what I gotta say. Classic line from Montgomery Scott and Star Trek.
What level? Transporter room. Thank you. Up your shaft.
Now, you know who the voice was of the inside there? The
Who was the voice?
The guy by the name of Frank Force. That was a pseudonym of Leonard Nimoy.
Interesting. I did
yeah.
not know that.
It was Leonard Nimoy, but they put the name as Frank Force. If you check the credits for Star Trek the 3.
I'll have to look at it next time.
Yeah.
But I do want to thank everybody who was here during tonight's evening edition of the Sunday edition of Pacific 414 Pop Talk. I want to thank Anonymous. Anonymous. There was Janet from Another Planet.
Hi, Janet.
There was Whoopa Troopa.
Whoopa Whoopa.
We also had Laura Crit of Everest Productions. There was Low Specs Linux Laptop.
Who will be in the Penguin series, by the way.
We had the Angry Canadian. Boy, I wouldn't want to run into an angry Canadian. It's bad enough when you run into a happy Canadian. Sorry. Take off, eh?
Yeah, you make me very angry, eh? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shake up your can of beer there. See how you take that? So don't mess with me again, eh?
Yeah. Take off your hoser. That was a fun watch party.
Yeah, it was.
Of course, we had the old man. Phil McCracken, not a Scottish therapist.
Just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, pretty much. I said it, Phil. I said it. What are you going to do about it, huh? What are you going to do about it? We also had Black Dragon. And we also had Jet Sparks.
With his wibbly wobbly timey stuff.
Yes, wibbly wobbly timey wimey. And old man says, night all, and to you, Phil. Good night, old man. Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this late edition of the Sunday edition of Pacific 414 Pop Talk. And as far as what's coming up next on the channel, of course, there's going to be Wednesday's Pop Talk. And tomorrow night, even though I haven't posted anything about it yet, even scheduled the stream yet, I'll probably do that tomorrow night, a couple hours before that stream actually starts. But I will be giving my thoughts on the latest episode of The Last of Us. And honestly, at this point, I'm glad that this season is almost over, because the first episode started off all right, but with the exception of a couple of episodes after that, the series has been mediocre in my opinion. And this is coming from someone who hasn't even played the game that it's based on.
See, that's the problem. You just don't understand all those nuances into it yet.
But I watched gameplay video from the actual game, and I'm going, wait a minute. How hard? I'm going to say exactly what I said in last week's review for last week's episode. How hard would it have been to take exactly what you saw in the game and just translate it to live action? Not very hard. It's not like you have to react to a 10-foot CGI monster. You just take exactly what happened in the game and put it in live action form. It shouldn't be that difficult.
Actually, my clients for the 10-foot monsters have taken offense to what you have to say there, Mike. So,
they can get over it.
There might be some cancellation issues there.
Well, like I said, they can get over it. And I'll read this finest final comment. And Whoopa says, I watched the underground play the game. I'd say it's more enjoyable to watch than to watch the show. Yeah, it is, because I watched other streamers play the game. I watched videos of the game, like I said, and it's more entertaining than the show. Honestly, in my opinion, the show's lacking the heart and soul that the game actually has, because you're actually given a reason as to why Joel and Ellie start becoming a surrogate family in the game, and they've skipped completely over that.
I don't need to watch the gameplay. I just have to hear Cash bitch about it every time I talk to him.
Cash money, cash money, cash money. I hope you are feeling better, my friend, and I hope you're able to join us Tuesday for the Office Space watch party.
And protect yourself.
Yes. And Baron, as always, thank you for being here. I do want to thank our special guest, Paul, the Star Wars guys, or Master Paul.
He was here?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay. I've been having graduation.
And I just have one final message to say besides thank you all for watching. And remember, I'm not just a baseball guy. I'm an all-around guy. But before you leave, make sure you hit that like button and share, because if you don't...
Extinction to all traitors!
And with that, I also have one other final message to give you guys for tonight. And have a good one.
This has been a test of the emergency hypnotoad system. Had this been an actual hypnosis, you would go limp and watch whatever crap comes on next.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on here for over 2 hours, and I tell you, 24 sounded so different. I don't know why he's calling himself Mike. Oh well. I got through it.
I'm sorry, I have a deep baritone voice. Unless I change a few settings on my voice mod, then you'll get that deep baritone voice.
Peace.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here. Have yourselves a good night and a good start to the work week. And yeah, see you later.